Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Enterprise AI Accountability Line. This is the show where we, as IT, procurement, and vendor management leaders, stop just worrying about AI outsourcing risks and actually start fixing them. I'm your host, Marcus Vance. So here's the deal. We spent decades building those beautiful, impenetrable data firewalls. We felt safe. Then your vendor's developer, fueled by a third coffee and a looming deadline, uses a little tool, a Copilot they call it, to debug a critical piece of your proprietary code. And poof, your data, your company's secret sauce, might just be floating off to an unknown server on the other side of the planet. It's the invisible data leak, and it's happening right now. We're diving into the absolute biggest, most immediate worry in third-party outsourcing: AI data leakage. It's the risk that sneaks in the back door. To help us navigate this minefield, I've got Maria Rodriguez with me. She's the Chief Procurement Officer for a massive financial services firm, so she lives and breathes sensitive data. Maria, thanks for joining us. You must be tired. What's the first thing that made you realize your old ironclad data security contracts just weren't cutting it against AI?
Marcus, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the invitation. And yes, my lawyers and I are now in a permanent state of high alert coffee consumption. The biggest shock is realizing the risk isn't the sneaky hacker. It's the helpful developer. It's the unintentional leak. We went from worrying about data theft to worrying about data donation. I say this with complete resignation.
Data donation. It's almost polite but totally catastrophic. So the old no USB drives rule is now the no pasting into public LLMs rule, which is much, much harder to police.
It really is. And it gets geographically complicated fast. Our contracts say data must stay here in this country, but the AI models the vendor uses are often hosted God knows where. It's like playing international hide-and-seek with compliance stakes.
So it's not just about where the data is stored. It's about where the AI model that touches the data is trained or logs its activity. That's a whole new layer of opacity.
Exactly. And good luck auditing that. We call this the PII Black Hole. Data goes in, the model processes it, and it's impossible to tell if PII was used or if it got cached. Our traditional audit trails just stop dead when the data hits that AI layer. That's a huge problem for traceability.
All right, let's pivot to the practical. For the procurement and IT folks listening, you can't just stop using AI, but you can govern it. Maria, what are the actionable steps you've taken, starting with the contract?
We've had to get aggressive but friendly. We tell them, we love the AI innovation, but we need accountability. So 2 things we look at closely. 1, the AI tool disclosure rider. This is non-negotiable. Vendors have to list every AI tool used on our project, from coding to support, and they must certify the hosting location and the data training policy for those tools. If they can't provide those details, they can't use the tool on our project, period. 2, liability and PII attestation. We make them sign off, saying their internal policies strictly prohibit putting our confidential data or client PII into any non-approved public model. We need that paper trail to shift the liability if things go sideways.
Love it. Okay, if I'm a vendor manager doing a quarterly review tomorrow, what are the top 3 questions I should hit them with right out of the gate?
These cut through the noise and force them to give you a technical answer, not a marketing one. The big one. For every AI tool you use on our project, can you certify that our data is not used for training or improving the underlying model? And where are the associated inference logs physically hosted? Number 2, the policy check. Do you have a dedicated, enforced internal policy that explicitly forbids your developers from feeding any client PII or proprietary code into public large language models? How do you monitor for compliance? And number 3, the audit trail fix. Beyond your standard data flow documents, what new logs or artifacts do you generate that show where the AI model touched our data, what it did with it, and that its internal caching systems are compliant?
Fantastic advice, Maria. That first question alone is going to make some vendor security teams sweat a little, and that's exactly the point. It's clear. We have to be specific. We have to demand transparency. and we can't just rely on those old generic security clauses anymore. Thank you, Maria Rodriguez, for walking us through this.
My pleasure, Marcus. Here's to better contracts.
Cheers to that. Next time on the Enterprise AI Accountability Line, we're going to tackle Episode 2, Who Owns the Algorithm? Intellectual Property, Plagiarism, and the Shadow AI Developer, the Intellectual Property Nightmare. Don't miss it. As a note of transparency, this episode was AI-assisted and generated, but the final editorial word and full supervision always rests with our human specialists. It is this human expertise, guidance, and advice that makes the content special, ensuring maximum accuracy and value for you.